Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the showdown between Bretonnia, led by the Fey Enchantress, and the Empire, who's going to be led by a General of the Empire. So without further ado, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So in this game, I wanted to try using Battle Pilgrims again. It's been a long time since I've seen these guys on the battlefield, and I feel like one of the matchups in which they might be okay is going to be against the new Empire. Number one, they do have shields, so that's going to be decent against focus handgunner fire, crossbow fire. Obviously, I don't think those ramshackle shields of theirs will help them against like Hellblaster volley guns and things like that, but I want to see how they do. And on top of that, they do have relatively high offensive stats with 41 melee attack and 35 weapon strength. And a lot of these new Empire builds are using like handgunners and Hellblaster volley guns and a couple units of heavy cav. Therefore, their infantry are usually going to be like spearmen with shields, swordsmen, kind of low tier stuff with light armor. As such, I'm hoping that these Battle Pilgrims will do a good job kind of tearing through them. So Battle Pilgrims here, I do have an entire front line of Battle Pilgrims with the exception, well, I guess technically these guys are Battle Pilgrims, the Holy Wardens, which are the ROR, and they're definitely pretty powerful. You can see they have 48 weapon strength, 46 melee attack, and I don't really think that the fire damage or the magic damage is going to be terribly pertinent in this matchup. I'm trying to think of something on the Empire roster that does have physical resist. I think one of the Knights does. No, Knights of the Blazing Sun have magic resist. So yeah, anyways. In the secondary line, I have a couple of groups of the Peasant Bowmen with the Pox arrows, which should be okay. With 160 range, they can outrange handgunners. They can trade relatively efficiently with crossbowmen for their cost. And just being able to kind of have a couple of groups of mobile firing stations that can apply poison, which in itself is a very powerful debuff. You can see a single poison arrow from these guys. It's going to lower the armor-piercing missile damage by 20%, speed, weapon damage, so definitely brings a lot to the table. So we have 4 of those guys in the back. We have the Fey Enchantress with the Arcane Conduit going a little bit wild over here. Of course, she has Earthblood and Regrowth. One group of Foot Squires in the back, so just in case they, surprised me and brought like 3 Greatswords, I wanted to have one group of dedicated, anti-armor infantry. Granted, my Cav and some of my other units I do have should be able to handle that. So Foot Squires here, we got some Halberds on the far side, some Men-at-Arms with polearms in case of very heavy Cav. And based on the terrain of the map, I thought we would be fighting right at this lip, because right now, I actually can't see my opponent. So I really thought, hey, if I have my halberds on the open side and I can kind of use this terrain, then I should be covered. Grail Knights down here to fight against the what are those things called? The Demogryph Knights. I also do have some Questing Knights here against Greatswords and just, armor in general. And on the far side, I have another group of Grail Knights. So these guys are ready to party, and they're joined by the Knight Errants. So Knight Errants, I was basically going to use them. They're very cheap. They only cost like 700. And they have a charge bonus of 50, which isn't bad, but I just wanted to use these guys kind of similar to like Hounds. And you guys are probably wondering why I'm not in Lance formation. Well, I found from a little bit of testing and I guess more anecdotal experience that when you are in Lance formation, you're taking cannon fire, it seems like the cannonball like tears through your formation a little bit more efficiently. So in this match, I'm going to mostly be in the standard formation rather than Lance. And for my opponent, he does have a Light Wizard up on the high ground, Nets of M, Talk, Banishment, pretty much all of the good spells. On top of that, a couple Spearmen with shields, just like we predicted. Going to be a relatively missile-heavy army. He has the Silver Bullets. He does have Sigmar Sons in the secondary line, more Spearmen with shields, 2 Demogryph Knights with Halberds, which are going to be protecting a very heavy kind of artillery battery back here. So he does have the Hammer of the Witches, and he does also have a Hellblaster volley gun. So that's going to be a lot of firepower. General of the Empire, obviously, just to save money. And some Spearmen back here as well. So what is this sword? I actually forgot what this does. So he has the Rune Fang. Oh, wow. That's a pretty big damage boost right there. So anyways, without further ado, let's get the battle underway. So right now I'm going to be advancing up and over the hill. And I forgot to mention, he does have some Outriders over here. So they started shooting at me and I was like, yes, good Anakin. So I decided to wait. I just sit my Quest Knights. I'm going to let him shoot a little bit, pull up some Peasant Bowmen. And then I ride my other group of Grail Knights up. And now I have him kind of corralled. They're pretty fast as far as their speed. They're only at 64 right now because of the poison. So again, just kind of reinforcing that point about how good poison is. And then from there, my Quest Knights are much faster with 75 speed. So they're able to get a charge acceleration, come down the hill, and you can see these Outriders are definitely in the wrong neighborhood. So the Bretonnians, it's hot on their tail, and my other group is going to go and just make sure they don't escape. And from there, we should be able to kind of just pincer them and take them out. So here come the Grail Knights. Substantial overkill here. We definitely did not need this, but the Grail Knights come in and lance down some of these Imperial troops. And that's pretty much that for the Outriders. So definitely a very fortunate catch for me. I had pretty good positioning against it. It was just basically kind of a lucky circumstance here that I caught those guys. But my front line is going to be advancing the Holy Wardens and the Battle Pilgrims, definitely frenzied for battle. You can see the cannon fire is now going to start tearing into basically whatever it can hit. I think my Cav were still out of range. I basically hid these Cav over here because I wanted him to waste his ammunition on infantry and stuff that wasn't like that big of a deal. And my other Knights, the Grail Knights, as well as the Quest Knights, are going to be coming up and around and trying to get past these Demogryph Knights, which won't be an easy task. And now you can see the Hellblaster volley gun is tearing into these Battle Pilgrims, which is unfortunate as they are my very expensive group. But the Holy Wardens will do some very good work against Spearmen. But yeah, you can see all that focus fire on these poor guys, and they're still confident despite all that. So it's definitely going to be good. So Holy Wardens coming in with their 46 melee attack. Spearmen, obviously not, well, they should have countercharged there, but my opponent, I think, was microing his cab elsewhere. So you can see the Holy Wardens coming in with these Spearmen, definitely a very cool looking shot. You get the Holy Wardens with their dual weapons, and one of them has like a purple glow. I wonder what the lore is behind that, but... And there you can see my Peasant Archers are going to take some pot shots at the Light Wizard, who was kind of sitting there a little aloof, so I was able to get some free shots on him, which I was very happy about. Now the Fey Enchantress is in here as well, so I figured, hey, I'm going to break this pocket as quickly as possible, try and force my way through and allow the Holy Wardens to get onto the guns and start to push towards the cannons. So yeah, you can see a regrowth going down on the Holy Wardens as well, knowing they're one of my better infantry. I do want to keep them alive here. And pretty much the battle's underway, and look how quickly the Battle Pilgrims are taking apart these Spearmen. I definitely feel like they might have a niche there. On the far side, we do have a cav engagement. So the Demogryph Knights did start chasing the Knight Errants, so then I had my Grail Knights up on the hill here, just kind of looking like I wasn't paying attention. Then they come in and get a pretty good charge on the back of the Demogryph Knights. Granted, the Demis still get a good charge on the Knight Errants, so you can see some lances and shields and heraldry flying in the air as they pretty much collide full impact. But I'm going to get a good sandwich here, which should be okay. But my Knight Errants are already taking some pretty serious damage, and it looks like there's going to be a net of Amnitok, so I think he was trying to catch me, but the net was just a little bit delayed. But regardless, Grail Knights coming into the back of the Demogryph Knights, who do get fast protection, so definitely some good stuff for my opponent there. It's going to make him very tough to kill. But the Spearmen with shields not holding up very well to the Battle Pilgrims. The Battle Pilgrims just kind of marching their way through. You can see they're just pushing up here, and the Sigmar Suns are now pouring in. And I was basically just using all my poison arrows on them, just like, might as well. You know, I feel like it's just going to be one of those barn burner quick battles. Might as well just, use my resources while I have them. And I have plenty of ammunition left. I think most of my guys are pretty good. It looks like the Hellblaster volley gun did take out one group, and the other group I did send up and around the flank to help out. Over here we have another cav fight, so you can see the Demogryph Knights really just laying a pounding into my Grail Knights here, which was really, really rough. I think he was using Foss Protection as well as some other witchcraft to kind of help him out. But I do have Quest Knights here, so hopefully the Quest Knights can actually, cut through these Demogryph Knights, and some of my supporting elements. I think I do end up pulling these halberds in to help out. So you can see the Light Wizard up in the air is just kind of running about. He's probably going to engage with these archers as there's nothing to punish him for doing that. So here comes the Light Wizard with his holy charge, and it looks like he's able to take out a couple of those peasants as the poison drips off him there. Definitely making Papa Nurgle proud. In the secondary line, you can see the Battle Pilgrims have gotten to the auxiliary troops. So the Spearmen are fighting. The Holy Wardens were temporarily occupied by the General of the Empire, but in just a moment, I will be pushing them up. You can also see the Peasant Archer Fire is going to be shooting in at the Silver Bullets, doing some pretty good damage, but my opponent is retaliating with that Hellblaster volley gun. So my archers are kind of methodically being picked apart by this Hellblaster, which has 108 kills right now, which is pretty scary. Over here, though, I finally do win that engagement. The Demogryph Knights did break, but I don't have much left. The Grail Knight's still going to come in. We're going to try and just get into this artillery, and the Spearmen weren't braced there, so hopefully we can get in, shut down this Hammer of the Witches, which has just been doing massive damage against my cav all game. And the Fey Enchantress with her Fey Aura should be able to help drain these low-tier troops. The Holy Wardens have also gotten onto the cannon, so they got their clubs and their swords out for the lady, and they're laying a pretty holy whooping here on these Hellblaster volley gun crews, but after a minute or two, they should be able to cut through the crews, and from there, we should be in okay shape. Over here, the Sigmar Suns and the Battle Pilgrims basically fighting to the bitter end, but I did have some Overwatch fire from the Archers, which was able to give the advantage to my Battle Pilgrims, who are at, looks like 37 models against the 8 of the Sigmar Suns. I have a fair amount of Battle Pilgrims pushing up here. It looks like there's a group of 60. 64 right here, the Halberds pushing up, and this has just been an atrocious fight, but those Grail Knights held to the bitter end. And the Halberds I was actually using to chase off the Priest. I probably should have used them to finish these Demogryph Knights a lot faster, but it is what it is. So the bounce power is currently in my favor a little bit. You can see the General of the Empire with the Foe Seeker just kind of fighting with his Rune Fang right here against these Holy Wardens, who are actually shaken despite their very good leadership. You can see their Frenzy's now gone. The Silver Bullets are trying to reform ranks, but there's a lot of angry Bretonnians. You can see the Foot Squires are here, the Battle Pilgrims are here, and the Knights of Bretonnia, though very tattered, have done a very good job kind of pushing off Demogryph Knights and dealing with the Hammer of the Witches there. So if we take a look at the battlefield here, you can see my archers are online, just taking pot shots at the Silver Bullets as they try and flee, poisoning them down to 26 speed. But yeah, it looks like there's some... The problem with poison is there's a little bit of, obviously friendly fire, so you can't apply poison to your own troops, which is really annoying. But, in isolating open field targets, trying to slow them down and, hitting... It makes... The poison arrows make, low-tier peasant archer units, even useful against cav. Because, yeah, the AP isn't going to do much, but at least it slows and lowers their weapon damage and all that kind of good stuff, so... So over here you can see some of my Bretonnia Knights are just cycle charging through these Spearmen, trying to get some freebies. But from here it's basically just the General of the Empire with his Rune Fang, just fully surrounded by the hordes of Bretonnia. There's some Quest Knights here, There's halberds, there's foot squires, battle pilgrims, all kinds of good stuff. And that's going to be it. So well played to my opponent. It was pretty fun. And, you know, actually had a pretty good time using those battle pilgrims. I felt like they did okay. I'm trying to think like what I would bring with Empire. I'd probably do something somewhat similar. Maybe like, I do like the Hellblaster volley gun pick because it tears apart cap and infantry. I mean, look at that. I mean, maybe just cut Hammer the Witches and bring another Hellblaster. Those things are so good. Oh, man. But the range, of course, is very short. So the Hammer of the Witches on more open field maps is probably an optimal pick. Plus, the magic damage of the Hammer of the Witches circumvents the physical resist of Bretonnian Cav. So I like it for sure. Like it was definitely a cool build with the Nets of M-Talk to slow things down. I think the front line was just too much of a pounding. You know, the Battle Pilgrims really just gave it to the Spearmen with shields. I mean, look at the kills. 78, 107, 73, 78, and 63 on the Foot Squires. Isn't bad. The Peasant Archers were an okay pick. They obviously had to take a beating for the lady from that Hellblaster, but nonetheless, they give you utility, like I said, slow things down, allowed me to catch those Outriders for free. So there's a lot of kind of tertiary benefits to those guys. And aside from that, yeah, the Cap did good. It was basically just a rock'em sock'em robots with the Demogryph Knights who did have Foz protection and all that stuff. So it was pretty wild. So yeah, very well played to my opponent, Iron Wolf. Look forward to running into again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the Battle Pilgrims in action. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.